So one of my viewers wants to know, when you're a small startup business and you're working by yourself, when does it make sense to hire that first employee? Oh, hey there everyone, it's Dave Barnett from investlocalbook.com, the blog site and YouTube channel where I talk about buying and selling businesses, local investing, small business management, personal finance, as well as other neat stuff depending on what people want to hear about. Today, I've got a question from a viewer who's got a small startup business. He works by himself, and it's in the domain of the real world. Home renovations, fix-ups, repairing things, that type of thing. And he's getting to the point where he's really busy and wants to know when it makes sense to invest in hiring that first employee. So this is a really common problem that a lot of small entrepreneurs face, especially when they start off having to be both the business owner and entrepreneur as well as the technician, the person actually doing the work in the business. And the first thing that you do when you're trying to make a decision about whether you're going to hire someone is you have to create a time log and keep track of what you're doing throughout the whole day. So it starts off Monday morning from 9 to 9:30, this is what I did. From 9:30 to 10, this is what I did. From 10 to 11, this is what I did. And once you have that log of what your work week looks like, then we can proceed to step number 2. So right here on the whiteboard, I've got 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000 written down. And what these are supposed to represent is the hourly wage that someone would earn for doing different tasks. So a $10 an hour task might be a construction site might be a laborer whose job is to move bricks from one spot to another. Not a lot of value there, just doing physical labor, moving things. Or in an office, it might be someone who's responsible for answering the phone and doing photocopies, menial office tasks. Then there's the $100 an hour tasks. So this might be, for example, a sales role where someone might be in charge of talking to customers, making sales, in the magnitude of a few $100s to a few thousand. Bringing in profits, gross margin to the company, making sure that there's continuous work. A $1,000 an hour job might be, again, another sales job, but it might be for bigger type applications. So the home renovation salesperson who goes and visits someone and gets a contract signed for a $25,000 renovation. That's a $1,000 an hour type of application where there's a lot of value being generated in that time. And then $10,000 an hour jobs, that's got to do with strategic vision and direction for a company. So making a decision to carry one product and drop another product, those types of decisions can end up leading to changes in overall sales for a company, in the tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars by the end of the year. So that's definitely a high value strategic thing for someone to do in a business. Now, once you have your time log audit, so to speak, where you've written down everything that you do throughout the week, the next thing to do is to color code it according to this chart of value. So if you're a one-man show and you're spending time driving over to Staples to use their photocopier and make copies of something, then you would highlight that, I would use bright red for danger as a $10 an hour task that you're doing. And then for times that you're spending out talking to customers, you're either going to code that as a $100 an hour task or maybe a $1,000 an hour task. Maybe highly skilled technical work, like actually being on site doing a plumbing repair in someone's home, could be categorized as a $100 an hour task. And then the time that the entrepreneur spends doing things like planning for the future and figuring out how they're going to run their business, those are definitely the $10,000 an hour type of things. And what usually happens when people go through this kind of exercise is they realize that a tremendous amount of their time is being spent doing $10 and $100 an hour tasks, and very little time is being spent on the higher value things. And so the viewer question was, how do I know when it's the right time to hire my first employee? And what we can now do is we can reverse that question. We can say to the entrepreneur, how do you know when it's right to spend so much of your time doing menial $10 an hour tasks? And of course, if you're looking at a page which is, even 30% full of $10 an hour tasks, then to me, that's a great indicator that you need to bring someone onto your team to do those small jobs for you so that you can expand the amount of time that you're spending on the more valuable tasks, which in the case of a renovation business is almost certainly getting out and facing customers, getting more sales, and making sure that the projects are managed properly, making sure that the technical work is done correctly so that there's no issues with customers as far as satisfaction. So I hope that answers your question. I know that the idea of investing in someone else's salary can be a daunting one when you look at how much money every week or every 2 weeks you're going to have to put out in paying someone. But when you look at the amount of time that's going to be freed up by having that first employee who can do the simpler tasks in a business, I think you're going to see that you can spend a lot more time driving more value. It's going to be worth far more to you than what it costs for that employee. And one of the big advantages of being in business, and you see this all around every business that you look at, is you grow wealth in business ownership through leveraging the talents and time of other people. So you get people out there who are paid a fair wage for the value of what they do, but if they deliver more value to the company than what they're paid, that allows the company to grow. And that's how you end up with big companies and profits and success, etc. So I hope that answers your question. And please remember, everyone, if you enjoyed the content of this video, give it a share or a thumbs up like. It's the only way that the systems that operate the internet have of knowing that the content of the video is good. As well, if you're in Toronto or Halifax, I do have some upcoming workshops on buying and selling businesses that I would love for you to come and check out. It would be great to meet you. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.
You made it to the end of the video. That's great. Why not come over to my blog site, investlocalbook.com, where you can see all of my latest posts and videos. You can also take the time to watch my welcome video, see what I'm all about, and if you wish, sign up for my email list. I only send out one email each week. You get to choose which topics you're interested in so that you only get information that you want to learn about, and it's easy to unsubscribe anytime. Click my free resources link and have access to all of my free ebooks, audiobooks, and other PDF downloads. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.